Hello and welcome to New Jersey Makers Day. I'm Mr. Glenn and we're so happy that you're here today for our New Jersey Makers Day presentation. We're going to be here for a few hours today and we're going to be having lots of fun building different things and doing some planning and some craft things. It's just going to be really cool and great. And just want to start by thanking Tim Vandenberg and Martin Sinclair for all their hard work on vMix software, which is what's going to be used today for the production. We're in our trial version of it and we're loving it. So I'm going to take it over here and we're going to introduce you to our other presenter today. And that is...
Hello! What's happening, everybody? I'm Miss Adaria, or Adaria Armstrong as I'm known in some circles. I'm the Youth Services Director here at Bridgeton Library, and I want to welcome you to Makers Day! Wow! At least that's what it says on my shirt. Speaking of Makers Day, I made these earrings. Hey, hey! But that's for another show. We are so happy to have you here today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have a wonderful schedule of things for you to do. I hope you have your Makers kits and you're ready to go because we're going to get started. Happy spring. We're going to be planting milkweed and marigold seeds. And I can't wait to show you that. So let's go. Let's go. Happy Makers Day, everybody. Hello. It's me from another angle. Whoa. Hey, I just wanted to let you guys know that we have wonderful books here at the library for you to come in and check out and plant some stuff with your kids. We've got this nice book, Gardening Wizardry. We have these really wonderful fun books, Garden Fun and Linnaeus Windowsill Garden. So if you don't have a backyard or a side yard, you can plant stuff in your window. You can have a wonderful window garden and you can still have plants and fruits and vegetables. We also have some really fun books, some easy reading books, and some other books like this gardening book. So come into the library. We have plenty of stuff on gardens. Don't want those books to fall over. We also have these wonderful books too. So come on in and check them out, literally. So today we are going to plant milkweed and marigold seeds in milk cartons because we're reusing, and that's really important. And it's really important to plant milkweed seeds for this beautiful creature. Ooh, ooh, it's a monarch butterfly. Yay! What monarchs do is that they lay their eggs on milkweed plants, and when the little babies turn into caterpillars, they eat the milkweed, and that's how they grow into these beautiful butterflies. So it's really important to offer monarchs something to eat, something nutritious to eat so they can raise their little babies. So we are going to get started. The first thing I'm going to do is show you your craft kit. It's marked garden. And I'm going to take some of the things out of it and show you what we've got. So I put some instructions in here, how to plant, what to do afterwards to take care of those little babies as they're growing. We've got a bag of soil with your marigold and milkweed seeds in this little envelope that I made, and also some little instructions to tell you to tune in live today. We don't need that because you're already here. Hey. And if for some reason you want to watch this again or you can't stay for the whole thing, it'll be up on our YouTube channel when all this live and pre-recorded stuff is over. So, and we have a few craft kits left here at the library, so you can come in and pick those up and participate at your own pace at another date. But hopefully you're here live watching with us, and we're really excited to have you. So here's your garden craft kit. I've got 2 milk cartons in here, a couple of popsicle sticks so you could stick inside of your milk carton to identify your little plants. And as I said, the seeds in the soil. But the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to decorate the boxes. So You know, they look a little cuter than fat-free skim milk or strawberry milk or chocolate milk, although these are cute, but we're going to make them even cuter. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to turn one into a bunny. What? Yes, a bunny. Because it's spring, and there's bunnies and bees and butterflies. I think I'm going to go with the strawberry milk here. And I'm going to open the top all the way up. All right, you got that? Got that going there. And we're going to cut around the top. So if you've got your milk carton, please grab a pair of scissors. And if you're a young one, please have your caregiver or parent help you with this scissoring, because you don't want to hurt yourself. And we're going to cut, I cut straight down. Maybe we could toggle to the overhead for this. Oh, there we go. So I cut straight down, and then I'm going to cut across, right where the crease is. There's a natural crease on the top. And I'm going to cut two sides away from the milk carton. Right, you see that? I cut two sides off. And then we're going to go up the crease on this side to finish that up. So that's what you're going to be left with, is a piece that looks like that. And you can make that fly away. And so this is what your milk carton is going to look like. And from this, you're going to cut two bunny ears. That's right, I said it, bunny ears. So you're going to go halfway down, and then you're going to cut up to a bunny ear. Yeah, can you see that? And it's a little hard because you're cutting through a thicker milk carton, so just do it carefully. Be careful of your fingers. And then cut the rest of this away, and about halfway through the next panel, we're going to cut up again into another bunny ear. A bunny ear? What, Miss Adaria? That's right, because you're going to turn your little milk carton into a cute, sweet little bunny. You see how that has two little bunny ears? Isn't that cute? And now we're going to put your scissors aside for a second, get all these little scrappy dudes out of the way. Let me move this out of the way, because that's our next decoration that we're going to put on another milk carton. Oh, you're going to be so excited. But first, let's do the bunny one. So I'm going to measure approximately how much paper that we'll need. And I'm going to draw a line with my handy pencil and make sure that's up at the top. That's right there where we need it. And then I'm going to draw a line right across here. And that should be good. Come in again with our scissors. You're like, what does this have to do with planting flowers? Well, we're going to decorate our box. That's what we're doing. In case you just tuned in, we are going to get to the decoration part, the planting part in just a few minutes. But first, we're going to decorate our boxes and make them look cuter than they already are. Just to make sure that, okay, so I'm just going to cut a little bit. It's a little bit too much overlap. So I'm going to cut probably about a little less than an inch off of there. And we'll put these scraps aside so that we can reuse them again. And we're going to start here. And I'm going to wrap that box. And I may even do a rap about wrapping that box. But maybe not. How to embarrass yourself on live streaming. Break into a wrap. Okay, so then we're going to get our glue stick ready. I'm going to glue that part right there. And I'm going to glue, make a wide enough glue so that it's going to actually stick. And then we're going to glue the outside of this part. So the inside and then the outside, because when it meets and comes together, it has something to adhere to. And I just want to give a shout out to everybody who's watching. Whoop, whoop. I know for sure that my wonderful sister Emily is watching. So, hey, Em, what's up? Happy spring, girlfriend. I'll see you in a little while. I'm going to go up there and visit them where they live, and we're going to have a fun time, I tell you. Okay, so wrap your box. Here it goes. Are you ready? We're wrapping. Lay down the part that you glued on top of first, and then make sure it's all as tight as it can be, because you don't want your little bunny to fall off the box. Okay, I'm just pulling it as tight as I can and sticking it to each other. And your box should look like this so far. It should be wrapped with this nice little paper. And then I'm going to bring my scrap of purple back in. Right, you got that? And I'm just going to kind of approximate ears. See what I need for the ear. And what I can do is I can lay the ear down on the piece of paper and trace it. So we get a nice covering, and make it a little bit longer at the bottom. And here's the other ear. We'll do the same thing. So, because I didn't cut the ears exactly the same, so they're going to be a little different. So they're going to need a little bit of a different size of paper. And I'm going to make it just a little bit longer so we could tuck it down into the box. And then I'm going to cut these ears out. No, don't cut my ears. It's okay, it's just paper. Sorry, bring it up so you can actually see what I'm doing. And I'm actually going to ask my assistant, Miss Linda, if she will go and find me another different color piece of paper. And I'm going to try to put maybe a lighter color if there's a... Oh, I know, Miss Linda. Is it in this bag by any chance? Oh, there we go. Yes. How about if we use the yellow? Because you know how bunnies have a different color sometimes inside of their ear? We're going to use a little piece of yellow. Oh, look, a yellow piece of paper just magically came in. Woo! It's so nice to have assistants, I tell you. So here's one ear. Here we got that one ear going there. Here, let me cut the other ear out. Oh, no, I did that already. Here's the other ear. And I'm going to take a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to cut a little piece of yellow so that it goes in the middle of the ear. So let me just measure that a little bit. Okay, that's good. Just so you have a little bit of a contrasting color and it looks cool. And these are springtime colors, aren't they? If you were a bunny, wouldn't you want to be this color? A purple bunny with little yellow ears? I would. I tell you what. So today's the first day of spring, everybody. Happy spring. It's the vernal equinox happened this morning, very early, like about 5 o'clock in the morning. And that means the days are going to get longer. And I don't know if you've noticed around here where I live in South Jersey, there's crocuses and dewdrops. And I see some daffodils coming up, but the flowers haven't come up yet. So grab your handy glue stick. Oh, not that one. That one wasn't very handy, but this one is a bit more handy. And you're going to glue the yellow part of the ear to the purple part of the ear. Okay. Oop. And then we're going to glue this right to the cutouts that we made on the milk carton, which is now a bunny. So your milk carton can become a bunny. Are we having fun yet? That's what I want to ask. Hey, Mr. Glenn, can people comment on our proceedings here?
Yes, I can.
Well, hey, how about a couple comments? What do you think so far? Are you guys having fun? Do you like what you're seeing? Do you want me to do something else? You let us know. Let me see if I can remember if I could figure out which bunny ear goes on which bunny ear. I think this one goes on this one, actually. Okay, yeah, well, that's good. Give us a shout out. Tell us if you're enjoying what you're seeing, what you're doing at Maker's Day, if you're having fun making what we're making today, if you're doing your own Maker's Day. Talk to us about spring, about bunnies, about butterflies, anything you want. So hey, look at that cute little bunny. I'm such a cute bunny. And you could do a little face on your bunny. You could do a little cute bunny nose. And a cute little bunny mouth. And bunnies have whiskers, right? And you could do cute little bunny eyes. Kind of looks like a bunny cat. And I'm going to give this bunny some really lovely long lashes. That's right. And you can name your bunny. And your bunny is serving a couple of different purposes. Your bunny is a cute little bunny just on its own. And it's also going to be a planter. Oh my goodness. So let's decorate one more first before we start in with the planting. And I'm going to go for the chocolate milk. And this one, you're going to cut off the whole top. You're just going to go around that line, all the way around that whole top. And please be careful using your scissors. So start about there, and then start cutting your top off. Just makes me want to go and find some chocolate milk, right? I don't know why. I like chocolate milk. And this chocolate milk is fortified with vitamins A and D, so hey, you can't go wrong with that. So here is your second milk container with the top cut off. And what we're going to do with this one is, oh, what did I do? I made it a thing 1 and a thing 2. That's what they used to call me, thing 1 and thing 2. And the reason why I did 2 is because you have 2 milk cartons in your bag. So if you got a thing 1 and thing 2 or a bunny, you can make 2 bunnies, or you can make a thing 1 and thing 2. So you should have 2 pieces of paper, which is already pre-cut. You don't have to measure that or anything. You could just wrap that around. And I also have thing 1, thing 2. And I also made a little template of their kooky blue hair. So we're going to cut all that stuff out. But let's wrap the box first. Okie dokie. And you're going to do the same thing that we did with the other box. You're going to, let's move these little butterflies out of the way for a second so we don't get glue on them. You're going to glue the one side like so, and you're going to glue the other side like so. And make sure you use enough glue and you make it wide enough so that it's going to stick to each other, stick to itself, I should say, without any hassle. All right, let's bring that up. Maybe get it more in the middle of the carton. You can crease the edges. That will help it stick to itself a little more. Bring this side up. Oh dear. We have a little music in the background. So just hold that there for a second. And there you have one thing or another. What thing do you want to make it? You want to make it thing 1 or thing 2? Let's make it thing 1 because, you know, just you like things in order. Things. Hey, Mr. Glenn, did anybody offer any comments yet?
They have not.
What? Come on, give me a thumbs up or something. Not a thumbs down, though. Please, not a thumbs down. I need your validation. Okay. So here's thing... Oh, I cut out thing 2. What? Let's cut out thing 1 also. Apparently, I can't talk and think at the same time. But I try. All right, thing 1. And don't forget to stay tuned with us because we have some awesome other makers crafts coming up. Mr. Glenn made a wonderful car that you can snap together. Snap apart and put together, I should say. And it actually goes too. Woo! It powers itself. A little cute little mechanical car. We also have a paper box that you can create. A really wonderfully shaped box. And we also have some craft stick friends. So all those things are coming up. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so there you have thing 1. And now I drew a little template of their hair. So when you cut the hair out, you could turn it over and it'll be blue. Because this side from the copy machine, it made it a little dark. So when you turn it over, it'll be that nice bright blue. How are we doing on time, Mr. Glenn?
Good.
All right. So my presentation is going to be 3 hours long. A 3-hour tour. That's right. Because I know you can't get enough of me on story time, so now you have to watch me on Maker's Day too. What? That's okay. I hope everybody's having a great Maker's Day and a first day of spring. I think that it's a perfect day for the first day of spring. It's nice and sunny outside. All right, let me cut that up. So, you see, look at that. Look at that cool hair. Doesn't that look just like thing 1 or thing 2? And what you can do is you can slip it right in here. I am going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom, and you can slip it right in there so it looks like those crazy Dr. Seuss characters that the Cat in the Hat was always like, "No, stop messing up the house. The people are going to be home." You remember that story? They really got into an awful lot of trouble, those two mischievous things, thing 1 and thing 2. Remember that contraption that he had to bring in to clean the house with? Okay, so there's your thing 1. How adorable is that? And that's going to be your marigold. I would maybe put it doesn't really matter, but you could put, if you've got, actually you have milkweed and marigold seeds, so it's up to you which one you want to put it in. It doesn't really matter. Let me get all of these scraps out of the way so that we can begin planting. Oopsies. And just put them over there. Slide that stuff over there. And I put out a piece of paper on top of the tablecloth so that when you're working with soil, it tends to fly around a little bit. Let's put our planters on the side until we can get our seeds in there. And now I'm going to bust out the directions. And as you can see, I listed what's in your craft pack and then some instructions which continue on the back. And then you have a couple of pictures of what your craft might look like and also the life cycle of the monarch butterfly and why it's important to plant milkweed seeds in your yard. So we don't need that glue stick anymore, and we don't need these items anymore. Oh, you know what? I have a little cotton. If you wanted to put a little piece of cotton on your bunny, you could do that. I'm sure you might have a cotton ball at home. You can make it really just the most adorable bunny. It's up to you. We don't need our scissors anymore. We're going to put those over there. What we do need for our next part is the soil and a bowl. I'm just going to put the instructions over there so I can see them. And this is what I'm going to scoop the soil out with. We also have 2 popsicle sticks. We're going to identify our plants. And I have a Sharpie that I'm going to write the name of the plant that you're planting. So the first thing you want to do is take your soil. Here's your seeds. They're in a cute little envelope. I'm going to bust that envelope open and just lay that to the side for a minute. And take your bag of soil. And you're going to put, I don't know if all of it's going to fit in this bowl, but I think it will. Let's see. I don't want to make too much of a mess. Your soil is going to be dry, and you have to moisten your soil before you plant your seeds. I didn't want to put moist soil in these paper bags for your craft kits, because otherwise they would have probably created a soggy bottom, and the soil would have fallen through into your craft bag, and that would have been a bit of a disaster. So we have dry soil, and just break it up a little bit with your hands. You're going to find little pieces of wood and other stuff in here. This is vermiculite, this white stuff. This just aerates the soil, brings some air in the soil. And I'm going to take my sprayer, and I'm going to just spray gently. Cover your hand so you don't spray the soil. Once you get the top part of the soil moist, you can start going in a little stronger and spray that down. I'm going to say 20 sprays, and then you could come in with your hands, because I like getting my hands a little soily, and come in with a little more water. I'm actually going to moisten it down a little bit more than the sprayer is going to do, so we could save a little time. It's going to turn into mud. All right. Because it was very, very dry. Oop. I think we might need even more water. It's some very dry soil we got going there. Who doesn't like sticking your hand in a little soil? That's a lot of fun. Once you get it moist enough so that if you take some of it, it clumps together, but it still separates, then you could put some right in your, let's make sure we get it all incorporated in there. I did give you folks a little extra soil, so it's not gonna, you know, you're gonna have as much as you need to fill up 2 containers plus a little bit more. Okay, so that's a good consistency for your soil, so that it clumps together, but you can't really see any water or wring any water out of it. It's an awfully large clump of whatever, so I'm just going to put that over there. I don't think we need that. And I'm going to take the bunny, bunny. We're going to hold it right over, and we're going to put some soil right in there. And you want to fill it up to probably about a ½ an inch from the top. And you could press it down a little bit, but not too much. That's a fun looking bunny. This bunny is going to grow some good stuff, I tell you. Okay, and let's fill up our other one. Our thing one. Put that thing one to some good use. Don't pack the soil down because the little roots need to go down into the soil. And sometimes if the soil is packed down a little too much, they have a hard time starting. Okay, and I'm just going to grab this pencil and get that big piece of soil out of there. And you want to leave a little soil in the bottom because you want to cover the plants with something, with a little something on the top, but not too much. So let's get some of this off of our hands. Soil hands, it's springtime, woo! And I'm gutting the seeds out, and I'm putting these seeds on a paper plate so you can see what they look like. Here, let's just put that there for a second. Okay, you should have 3 or 4 of each seed. These are milkweed seeds, these little brown flat jobbies. And these are marigold seeds. They kind of look like little black wands with little tiny tan fronds coming out of the top of them. They're just such a cool seed. Seeds are very interesting, aren't they? I mean, look how different these two seeds are, but they're going to turn into plants with flowers. So isn't nature amazing? So what you want to do is, let's do the milkweed first. So I'm going to grab these seeds and I'm going to sprinkle them right on the top. Just space them out a little bit so they have room to grow. And just pat them down just a little tiny bit. And then take a little bit of extra soil and just sprinkle the top. Just sprinkle. It doesn't need that much soil at all. And then just gently, gently, gently cover that up. And we're going to do the same thing with the milkweed seeds. Can you see them on there? I'm going to use the paper plate because they're so tiny. I'm worried about, here, let me get this water bottle out of the way. They're so tiny, I was worried if I picked them up, I might lose them. So there they are. Can you see them on the top? You just sprinkle them in, and you sprinkle them in with a little bit of soil on the top. And that's it. You have planted your planties. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my water bottle and just very gently sprinkle the top. Just get that soil nice and moist. And that'll help with the germination process, because that's what we're doing. We're germinating seeds. Some people buy plants that are already a plant and plant them even when they're tiny, but we're going to start germinating our own seeds. So the entire surface has been moistened with water. For the first 12 to 15 days, you're going to want to keep these little pots in a sunny window. If the soil feels dry to the touch, make sure you moisten them with your spray bottle. And you should keep your spray bottle in the same room that your plants are so that the water in the spray bottle is at room temperature, because you don't want to shock them, like my hands. And after about 10 or 8 to 10 days, start looking for the sprouts, because they will happen. Seeds like to sprout. That's their job, to turn into little plants. And once the seeds have sprouted, you can use a watering can every couple of days, because then you won't drown your seeds by putting too much water in there. And when your plants are tall enough, about 3 to 5 inches, and the last frost has passed, probably like mid to late April, you can put your flowers outside in a sunny area or in a windowsill. You want to take them out of these little cartons and put them into bigger pots or right into the ground. Don't forget to water every couple of days if it hasn't rained. And marigolds, the reason why we planted marigolds today is because they're an excellent flower to plant alongside your fruit and vegetables because it attracts wonderful pest-eating bugs. So you don't have to use pesticides. And also the milkweed will attract the endangered monarch butterfly. And I got these wonderful seeds from a company called, if we could go to the, thank you, called livemonarch.com. And they have their little saying here. It says, got milkweed. So it's a wonderful company that promotes, they want to keep their skies filled with nature's color. One seed can make a difference, and we need you to plant it. So thank you so much for tuning in to our live milkweed and soil extravaganza. We're going to clean up a little bit and then present you with the next wonderful craft. And I just want you to stay tuned because we'll be making little craft friend figures towards the end of the day. So happy craft day, everybody. Happy Maker's Day. Happy spring. Get to planting. The butterflies need you. Your garden's calling. Take care.
Hey everybody, it's Mr. Glenn here on New Jersey Maker's Day. Glad you guys could join us. And the project we're going to be working on right now is a 3D car that we have. It was 3D printed and it has a series of gears and a little wind-up mechanism here where you can wind the car up and then you can there you go. You can let the car go and it will spin around like that. Some of the wheels got a little messed up here. Let me try it one more time. There you go. There it goes. And what we can do here is we can go over what came with this unit. We're going to put this aside for a minute. Just move this off the center here. What came in your kit would be an instruction sheet here, and then you have two what's called cards. Now that's the parts. Now you might have gotten a kit that had all black to make a black car, or you might have gotten a kit that had all yellow to make a yellow car, or you may have gotten a kit of a combination yellow and black, and that's what we have right here today. And we're going to refer to each card differently. So the card that has this coil here, which is what the spring is for the car, we're going to call the spring card. And the other one that has the wheels and the majority of the gears, we're going to call the gear card. Now also in your kit you should have gotten a emery board to help clean things off with. I also have a pair of diagonal cutters that I'm going to use today, and that's just to speed up the process to remove all the parts. If you don't have a pair of cutters like this, you can use a pair of scissors. If you don't have scissors available, you can actually twist the parts off and then clean them up. Now if you have a cutter, that would work better because you can get closer to the actual part, and then you don't have to file as much of like the burrs and stuff that are on the plastic. So let's get started here. We're going to go ahead and cut out some parts from the yellow card. So I'm just going to go ahead and start cutting. right there. And I'm going to cut it out over here. And then I'm going to cut again right over here. And then one more time over there. And you'll see we have our first part that's been cut out. Now I'll trim up a little bit just to make it a little bit nicer. Like I said, if you have a pair of these type of cutters, it will make things go a lot faster. But if you don't, that's okay. That's what the emery board is for. You can file down anything that is too high or any little pieces of plastic that might be still left on your kit as you're removing them from the card. And I'm going to leave that like that. That's that one. And we're going to go ahead and continue on. And I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to cut this off. I'm going to cut over here some more. Cut some more stuff over there. I'm going to get this piece off. Again, like I said, I'm going to try to trim as much as I can with the cutters to make things a little bit easier on me. So we have those two pieces right there. I'm going to get some of that little plastic out of the way. I'm going to continue on cutting out the pieces. Hope everybody's having a good day today on Maker's Day. I hope you're making some great stuff. I know we have a lot for you today, so you want to stay tuned till the end. Okay, these pieces out of there like that. And so we have another piece, and just going to continue on here. And this one I'm going to twist a little bit here. Help me get it off of there. Okay, clean it up a little bit. Like that. And then we have a gear here. Get rid of. And we're going to cut this little piece off right here. It's part of the spring, but it's not actually part of the spring, if that makes any sense. So it's just a little extra piece that we're going to cut off right there, and you'll see it like that. Again, we'll get rid of that plastic, and we'll cut another piece here, and another piece right there, and that removes the spring. And of course, there are some burrs on there. You can see there's a little one right there that I want to take off. And we're going to cut some more here. Okay, that piece is done. I'm going to continue on to this other gear, the small one. And that one looks pretty good the way that it is, so I'm just going to lay that down. And then this is the wind-up mechanism, the key, I guess you would call it. So we're going to cut that out like that, and like that. And we're going to continue here, like this. Remove that plastic. Little burr on the end of here. Gonna work on that. And then we're going to continue on. Just going to bring this one back and forth like this to try to loosen it up and twist it off of the card. Now, of course, that created another little burr, so we're going to try to cut that down a little bit, like so. Okay, that looks good. So we're starting to get more and more pieces. I'm going to take this off here. And again, going to cut there. And we're going to cut here. And we have another one. And going to continue on. Okay. And there's a little bit of a burr there. Get rid of that. A little piece of burr. And you'll see there's a lot of burrs right here. It's just a big piece of plastic that needs to be removed. And you can refer to your instructions too to see how these pieces all look. Also, to be able to know exactly where you're cutting, but you can see that most of the areas that you need to cut the plastic is much thinner there, and that's just basically to hold all the pieces together on that plastic card that everything is part of. Okay, another gear here. Cut that one off, and then we're going to cut this off. So now you have a kind of like a spiral type gear, like so. Now there's one more piece on this card. We're going to leave that there for now because I found that you don't actually need this little spacer here. I'll try to move it so you're not covering up anything. So we're just going to set that aside for right now. We're going to move on to the other colored one that has the mainly the wheels and some gears in it, and we're going to just continue to cut out the pieces like so. Again, I'll bend this a little bit to make it easier. Okay, we have this one out. Now the gears sometimes have a little bit of trouble if there's any burrs on them, so you want to make sure that you keep them so that they're as free of burrs as you can. And again, that's what the emery board is for, if you need to file anything down. Like so. Okay. This one definitely has some burrs on it, so we're going to want to cut those off of the wheel as much as we can. That looks pretty good. Put that down. Some more pieces here. Continuing on, cutting more out. As you see, okay, there we go. Another one. There we go, some more. And that looks pretty good. Okay, so we have two wheels here and a gear. And then we're going to take this off. Okay. Another big burr on that one. And another one. And another one. Okay, that all looks good. Okay, that feels pretty good too. That's another wheel. And our last wheel here. Okay. Got that. And again, if you're just joining us, if you don't have clippers, like I said, you can use a pair of scissors, or you can just twist them out and then use the emery board to clean them up more. I'm just using this because I have it, and it's going to save some time while we're doing this today. I'm going to take this last piece out right here. Take that over there, like that. Okay. And we're going to take this last little piece out over here. And we're going to clean that up also. Okay. So we have all our pieces out and about, and we're going to look at them and inspect them, make sure they all look good and all look clean. And once we're at that position, it would be time to start the assembly. Okay, so now we are ready for assembly, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this first long piece that you can see if you look in your instruction sheet. We're looking for the one that has the two square holes in them. One here and one here, two squares. So that's what we want. And we want the open ends on each end to be facing away from us. Okay. And then we're going to find this first shaft. And it looks real similar to this other shaft right here. I'll put them there. But one has a longer piece, and this one has two sections to it, here and here. Okay, so we want the one with the long, straight shaft. Okay, so we're going to take that, and we're going to take this small little gear that we have right here, and we're going to place that small gear onto the long shaft. Now, if it doesn't fit, you may have to file it a little bit to get it to fit on there, and you may have to put some pressure to force it down that shaft. So that's what we have right here, just the shaft on the gear, or the gear on the shaft, however you want to say it, and we're going to just do that and have that ready. So that's ready to go. So with this piece right here that I said that we're going to use first, we're going to find the two fork shaped pieces. So there's two pieces here, and they both kind of look like a fork. One is long and thin, and the other one is shorter and fatter. So we're going to take the long and thin one, and that's going to go into the first hole right here. Okay? Again, it may not fit real well. It may be really tight to get in there. You may actually have to press down hard or use a hammer to get that to go in there like that. And then we're going to do the same thing with the shorter one. That's right here, and that's going to go into the next square hole. And you want to force them all the way down, and they should almost click in place. So I'm going to use my hand here a little bit, and I am actually going to I also have a hammer. Now, if you don't have one, you can use like a block of wood or something like that. But I'm going to use it just to make sure that everything is right. I just have a little hammer here. Actually, it's a big hammer, but we're just going to hammer it and see if we can get that to click in. I believe that's in there now. Yes, that's in there. So if you don't have one, just keep pushing on it. You may have to put something underneath your hand so you don't hurt your hand to push down on that. And then you have those two pieces in there like that. Okay, we're going to put that down. And we are going to go ahead, and I like to put in these pieces next. They both look identical, but one's each a different color. But like I said, you may have two of the same color. And they go into the slots that are right here and right there. Okay? So it doesn't matter color-wise which one goes where. But there is a flat side to it. And you want the flat side towards you, and the somewhat rounded side away from you. Okay? So we're going to go put that in now. Okay, you'll see that one there like that. And then we're going to do the same thing with the black one. And again, like I said, these are sometimes really tight, and you have to push down on them real hard. I flipped mine over, and I'm pushing down on the table a lot. And I think I'm going to come back and use my hammer again, just to give it a little tap, to make sure that that fits the way that it should. Okay, so we have that in there like that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our spring, and our spring has, it's hard to see on here, but our spring has a tab that extends away from itself, so it kind of goes away from the body of it, so it's got some thickness right there. So that's going to go into this next hole, which is right there. But we need to line up the hole that's in the center of the spring with this hole when we actually press this pin into it so it lines up. Because you can do it wrong if you don't line those up. So you're going to want to try to line up that center square hole with the hole that's underneath of it. So you're going to push this in here, and then you're going to push that pin in. And you'll see that the spring is now attached to the assembly. And the hole lines up, you can see right through it. Okay, so we got that so far. Now, there's a special order that we need to put things on. And we need to put the first gear here. Now, these two gears that we cut out are pretty much identical. Okay, so we're going to put one gear on this shaft here, and we're going to put another gear on top of this one, and this larger part of the gear is going to ride into this center inner gear. So we're going to put that in, and then they'll go together like that. So if you turn one of the gears, the other gear will turn also. And they should turn freely like this. So you want to continue to do that. Okay. Now, this gear is different because it has all these little like notches on the inside. And what you're going to do with that is you're going to put this other insert into that gear. So you basically just want to slide it in there, snap it in, and you'll see it stays right in there like that. Just like that. Okay. Now, that gear is going to go over top and be part of this gear assembly here. So this edge here of gears is going to go into the teeth that are on here, and then the key is going to go through here, through the spring, and into the other side of it. But before we can do that, we have to assemble everything. So we can put this away for right now, and we're going to take this gear that we already started working on right here, and we can put this little spacer in here. It's a bigger spacer. Okay, so we're going to slide that over the same side that the gear was pressed on from. So we're going to put it right there, and then that goes through this front hole, so to keep that gear at the right position when the whole assembly is put together. So at this point, here's where things get a little tricky trying to put everything together. This would probably be the most difficult part of the whole job right now. So what we're going to take now is take this other side, okay, and we're going to set that there. We're going to take this shaft, this other shaft that has the two sides on it, we're going to put that through the other hole so it stands up like that. So you can see it stands and goes right through there. So all that has to be together before you put the other side on. This gear and the shaft that actually winds everything up together, that can be put on after and makes it a little bit easier to do that. So we're going to take this piece here and we're going to line up this shaft, the other shaft on the two holes on either end so that they go through. Okay, and then after we do that, we're going to make the connections to the other side of this, like it looks like what would be called a dovetail joint. So we need to get those connected, and we need to get the shafts through these two holes right here and here, all pretty much at the same time. So this would be most likely the most difficult part. It's hard to hold everything and get everything lined up at the same time and get everything to go through the holes that they're supposed to go through. So we're going to try to attempt that right now. We may run into some problems, I don't know, but we're going to try to do it. See how this goes. Sometimes this is very difficult to do. If you have another person to help you, that always helps. I may have put this on backwards. That's okay. We can flip it around. And I did. I put it on backwards. So we just had to flip it to the other side. That's why I was having some trouble. But no worries, we'll get it. Okay. Giving me a little bit of trouble here. There we go. Got a little bit of it on. Let's see how this goes. Getting there. There we go. Okay, one last one to go, I think. There it goes. There we go. Okay. Spinning now. Make sure that gear spins. The other gear spins. Okay. Now we're going to slip in this last piece, which goes in here. Lines up with the spring. So we're going to put that in. Now it's a square key that goes through. And we're going to continue to push that through like so. And try to line up the spring part, which isn't always easy to do. We're going to continue giving it a little bit of a push. Like so. And it should come pretty much all the way through here, and I haven't gotten that yet, and this is another difficult part of the assembly. But we'll get it. Let's see here. Okay. Sometimes you got to twist the gear a little bit. Put a little more pressure on it. Okay. So what could possibly be holding it? Well, there could be a piece of plastic in there that's just being difficult. And again, that's what the emery board is for. So I'm going to bring the key back out again. I'm going to file this key out with the emery board a little bit, just to kind of get any rough edges off of here, and kind of bring it down a little bit. I don't want to file too much, because if I take too much of the corners off of this key, it's going to make it to the point where it might slip inside of here, and we don't want that to happen. So I'm going to try to put the gear back in, and we're going to try to go through the center here. And it seems like it's the spring that's the actual problem of the key going through. So you got to just keep jostling that key and spring around until you can get it to go through. I'm still having some trouble with that. So let's see what we can do. Well, let's back it back out again, take this out, and see what could possibly be the issue. Let's just try to get it into the spring itself. Yeah, I see that there's an issue there. Doesn't really want to go into the spring. So there we go. Okay, so now that we got it through there once, that's going to help us out a lot. But without the gear, it's not going to work. So we have to pull it back out again. And we have to try to put that gear back in again. So we're going to slide that back in. Put that through. Try to line up the gear and the spring. There we go. We got it this time. Okay. Now, you might have some issues where the spring there we go, and the gears are too tight. The more you work these gears, the better they're going to work into each other. And when that happens, you'll see you'll be able to crank this up And when you let it go, you'll see that it starts to go correctly. But as things work in, it'll start to work better and better for you. Okay. Yeah, it's getting better and better. As the longer we go working with this, the better it gets. So, there you go. You'll see how the gears start to work their way in. And there could be some burrs and stuff on there that are causing some of the issues there. So, while we're waiting and messing around with trying to get those to work the way that they should, we can go ahead and get the wheels put on. Now you'll see that there's two sets of wheels, a small set and a big set, and we're going to put the big set of wheels on the side that has the spring, the closest side to the spring, because that's kind of bigger there, I believe. And no, I'm wrong. It's the other way around. We're going to put the small set of wheels by the spring and the bigger set of wheels by the other gears. I made a mistake there, guys, so forgive me for that. So these just push on, they're kind of a rectangular shaped hole in the center, and then you're going to push them on like so. And again, these might be tough to get on also. I think there's one side, yeah, there is one side that's a little bit easier to get it on than the other side. There we go. So you might have to experiment with that. One side kind of has a cut in it that allows the wheel to go on much easier than the other side. There we go. And you're going to try to get these wheels on as straight as possible on there, on your car, so that when you're looking at it and the wheels turn, they try to turn as perpendicular to the surface as possible so they don't wobble all around. So we'll go to the other side and put the larger wheels on. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to push on the center there. And then we're going to push on this side. And there you go. Now, there were some extra spacers in here that were meant to go between the gears here and here to kind of keep them where they're supposed to be. But I found that they actually bind the car up more than you should use with them. I think they just make things more difficult. So I did not use them. If you want to try to use them, you can, but I did not. So basically, here is your car, and it spins like that. And like I said, you may have to work on these gears. You may have to go in with the emery board and clean up some of the teeth if there's any kind of little nick or anything like that on the gears, because that'll prevent the car from spinning correctly, and the gears will get bound up and not work correctly like that. So when you look at the spring, the way that you want to do this is you want to tighten the spring with the key, and then it should unwind, and that's what propels the car. So even though it might seem that loosening the spring is better, it's really designed to work by tightening the spring. So Let's see here. Let's see what direction. Okay, so I'm turning it by hand just so you can see the spring getting tighter. And when you let go, it starts to spin all the other gears, and that's what propels the car. So if we just take it like so, and I'll try to show you. Now this is the wrong way to do it. Now it's making the spring become wider between each revolution. So we want to turn it the direction that tightens the spring. So now the spring is really tight. I'm just using the gear because it's easier for me to turn the gear than the key. But that's what you would do. You would turn the key to be able to do it. When you let go, like I said, sometimes it might get a little stuck because the gears aren't all worked in with each other yet. Let's see if I can turn that a little bit better. Right, the gears are out of whack with each other. They'll kind of stick together. Let's see what's holding it up this time. Okay. There we go. It released. So again, just keep playing with these gears. The more you work with it, the more they're going to start to wear in, and the better it's going to actually operate. So if I take it back here a little bit, I don't know if it's got enough power. A lot of times these cars will not ride good on any kind of carpet or any kind of material. You have to have it kind of on a like flat hardwood or tile floor, and that's when they work the best. I can show you. Let's see if it's gonna work. Yeah, see, it started to go. There we go. It moved a little bit. Again, you have to keep working that spring and gears to get everything working good. And I can see some burrs of plastic on here that are somewhat causing the problem right now as we're doing this. And that's what's giving us some of the issue. But you'll see it did move like that. Now this other one that I had showed you earlier, the black one, that one I've spent a lot of time getting that perfected and getting the gears all to look right and work right together. So I can show you that one. That one works really well. As you turn the key, you'll see that all the gears, I'll try to get my hands out of the way here. All the gears work well. Let me just turn this like this. There we go. I'll just hold it a little bit. See if I can get that to go. Okay. There it goes. Yeah, I can turn a little bit. If it's on its side, it doesn't work real well. But there you go. So this is a black one. This is a yellow and black one. And again, just because this one seems like it's not working as well as it should, it will. Just spend some time working those gears so those teeth start to work in with each other. And once you start doing that, you'll start to get some power out of the car, and you'll be able to actually place it down somewhere and be able to allow it to go forward and spin. We'll get this one going, and we'll show you it actually running, and we'll show you that in just a second. And then when we're done that, we'll have you continue on with New Jersey Makers Day with some other fun crafts and projects that we're going to be doing today. Glad you had a good time doing this today, putting this together. And again, you have your instruction sheet here that you can refer to. You can also watch this video back again on the replay, and you should be able to continue on having fun with your car right here on New Jersey Makers Day. Whoa! All right. We had a little accident there, but it worked. We lost the wheel, but that's okay. It's New Jersey Makers Day. We'll make it again. All right. How'd everybody like doing that 3D car, 3D printed car? It was really cool. So now we're on the box craft that we have for today, for New Jersey Makers Day. Mr. Glenn here again. And I just want to let everybody know that Miss Daria and myself have been social distancing the whole time. We've been staying 6 feet away, and that's why we are not wearing any masks at this time, so that we can speak clearly and you can hear us well. So without that, let's move on. So today's craft project is this box, and it's a neat box that you can build yourself. Now, we found the design for this on the internet, and we were able to design it and download it, and then after we did that, we were able to go ahead and bring it into some software that allowed us to use our Silhouette Cameo machine to be able to pre-cut everything out for us, so that we could have some score lines that are along the box to make it easier for you to bend it. And it also allowed us to do the basic shape cutout that we have here. And there's also some score lines. You probably can't see it on the camera, but you should be able to see it in person and be able to feel it. And that's what we're going to be putting together now. So in your bag, you should have had 2 pieces of paper, one that has the New Jersey Makers Day logo on it, and then a larger piece of paper here that is the actual box itself. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start by pre-bending all the pieces, and we're going to do that on all of the score lines. I have a pencil here that I'm just pointing to one of the score lines right here on the camera so you can see it a little bit better. So let's go ahead and just start bending those at the score marks, and we're just going to do it like this. So we're just getting some bends in to the box, and then I'll flip it around this way, and we'll bend it right here, we'll bend it here, and we'll bend this like this, and then we'll come back, and there's some tabs here that we want to go ahead and bend. I'm just going to bend them downward like so, like this, and like this. And then I'm going to bend the bottom piece right here upward. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to form a box by bending everything and rotating everything around the actual main piece, and then we're going to glue that all down. So as you can see, if I turn it around this way, everything opens up. So we have these tabs around here that we're going to put some glue on, and from there we're going to glue this big tab right here down to it. Now if you want to use Elmer's glue, you can use that. That's what we're going to use today. You could also use tape if you don't have any glue, or you could actually use what's called a tape runner, and it kind of looks like correction tape that you would use for a typewriter, but it actually puts down a little bit of tape as you run it across. But for this project, we're just going to use some regular Elmer's glue. Now I also have a pencil with me today, and that's just going to be to help me be able to push down some of these tabs when the box is being put together, because my fingers aren't long enough to get in there, and I would suspect that yours probably aren't either. So if you have a pencil, that works great. And let's just go and start now. We're just going to start to put some glue on all these tabs right here. And you'll see that there's also a tab right along here that holds the box completely together, so we're going to do that now also. So I have my Elmer's glue, and I'm just going to put a little bit on each tab here. Okay, let's get the glue flowing here. There we go. Alright, a little bit of glue there, a little bit of glue right here, a little bit of glue there, a little bit of glue right here. Try to show it to you. A little bit of glue right there, a little bit of glue right here. Then we're going to try to put some glue down this long strip, right like this. Okay, that should be enough. So I'm just going to work everything together, trying not to get glue everywhere at the same time. Try to work the sides here, bring it around like so. Trying to line everything up as I go around. Same thing over here. And it's a little tricky to do, but if you get it right. Now here's where the pencil comes in. I'm going to just kind of try to push down some of these tabs around here. Okay. Push them down, push here, here, here. Hold this together like so. I'm going to put a little bit of pressure there for a few minutes, just so the box stays where it needs to be, until the glue starts to set up a little bit. And I'm going to go back, and I'm going to push down again, right here, right through the center of the box. I'm just taking my pencil here like this, and I'm just pushing down on those tabs where the glue was put in. So the tabs should be on the inside of the box so you don't see them after it's been glued together. See that there. Okay, we're getting there. Okay. All right, so for the most part, that's done. You may have to reshape the box slightly as the glue is drying on there, but that's, for the most part, that's the box. And you'll see I'll wrap it around here like that, so you can see the different sides to everything. So, okay. Put some more pressure down there with the pencil and the eraser tip to hold that there. And we'll might have to check on it as things progress. So I'll just put that off to the side there, and we'll start working on the actual top piece right here. So this is the top piece for New Jersey Makers Day, and that's going to be your lid to your box. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start bending the tabs inward like so. And again, because it's been scored, it should bend real easy for you right at the right spot. And I'll do the same thing with this. So then we'll put it back down on the ground here, on the table, and we'll start to wrap this box around also. Lid, box lid. And we're just going to bend, there's another tap right here. We're just going to bend all that together like that. And we're going to try to crease each piece like so. So it's all pre-creased. So the more you crease it, the more you get it into the shape that you need it to be in, the easier it's going to be to go ahead and glue. So I'm going to go ahead and start to apply the glue now. And I'll try to bend the tabs a little slightly more just so that they don't fight me when I'm putting it together. So I'm going to go back with my Elmer's glue, put some of that down on each one of these tabs, like so. And I'm going to put that there and around there. And then we also need some glue right here on this end tab here that holds the lid together. So we're going to do a little bit right there too. So I'm going to try to bend most of this and put it in place before I set it down. So the glue has a little bit of time to settle between the two pieces of paper. Okay. And again, like I said, if you don't have glue or don't want to use glue, you could use just some regular tape. Okay, now I'll set it down and I'll try to adjust things. I'll still use the pencil even though I can get my fingers in there just because it's a little bit easier to use that. So I'm just pushing down on those tabs so that the glue makes good contact there. Now I would suggest that after you glue this, you do not put it on top of your box and leave it there while the glue is drying, because if you did have any glue that oozed out anywhere, you could wind up gluing your lid to your box and you wouldn't be able to open it again. So I would say you want to set that off to the side and let it dry first. Give it a couple hours so that it dries. So we'll go back to the overhead here and you'll see I did a pretty good job on there. You guys might be able to do a little bit better than me. But you'll see that there's your box lid, and you can turn it over there, and you can grab a box or whatever and you can just put it on there. You may have to turn it till it fits the correct way, and there you go. So there it is. So you have your very own New Jersey Maker's Day box, and in this box you could put any leftover seeds that maybe you didn't use from earlier. Maybe you could you might be able to put the emery board from the 3D car in there, or you could put any kind of little things, paper clips, rubber bands, and it can remind you of today's event. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the lid off of the box while this dries, and there you have it. I hope you had fun with this craft, and we've got another fun craft coming up for you in just a few minutes, and we'll be right back. Thanks for joining.
Yay! Hey everybody, what's happening? Welcome to Maker's Day. Yes, finally, we're here. We're ready to make. Are you ready to make? I'm ready to make, because Miss Adaria puts the A in STEM. That's right, making it STEAM. because I'm all about art, people, but I'm also all about science and technology too. So hopefully you have your craft sticks bag. Yes. Hopefully you've come into the library and grabbed your craft sticks bag, and look, what's in there? All kinds of good stuff. And I have put it on display. So let me just get that out of the way. And hope you're having fun today at Maker's Day, because, you know, we're all about having fun and helping you make your Maker's Day. Woo! What are we going to make? I don't know. So look, I've got these wonderful little human figures that I got at a craft store. So we can make those. I also have some popsicle sticks. This is what's going to be in your craft bag. You're going to have one of these figures, 2 popsicle sticks, and a smaller popsicle stick you'll see what we need that for. You're going to have a couple of pieces of pipe cleaner. You're going to have some really nicely, beautifully colored wool and some felt. And you have to supply the scissors if you need it. And you have to supply magic markers to draw faces on your friends that you're going to make. And you might have to supply some glue too, depending on what you want to do. So let's start. I just want to show you that these are incomplete, but I just wanted to get you started and give you some examples of what these fine craft stick friends might look like. I've used pipe cleaners as arms, and I've wrapped some wool around their bodies. So let's get started. So I think I'm going to start you off on a figure. So what can we do? Well, you know what we could do? We could take a color, right? Let's just grab this blue color. And we can start, and how I do this is I put my finger on the beginning of the wool on the back of the figure, whether it's a popsicle stick or this little human cutout. And I can go in there, and as I'm wrapping it, it kind of wraps itself around the beginning of the wool and holds itself. So you don't have to really glue anything. So let's start that again. I'm putting my finger on the wool like that. Okay, and then I'm just going to start wrapping this, and it'll hopefully catch itself, and then you could just start wrapping down this little figure's leg. And you're basically making them wool pants or really tall socks. This craft is all about whatever you want to do. You don't have to do it exactly like I'm doing it, and I really hope that you don't. It's all about your imagination, what colors you want to use, how you want to do this. Like, for example, if you only want to, if you want to stop here, you could stop here and cut this piece of wool. All right, make sure you cut it so that it's going to stop on the back of what you're doing. And you can come in with another color, like, say, this green color. And you can finish wrapping the leg all the way down to the bottom. Or you could stop wherever you want. Now, and the other thing is, the reason why I have this popsicle stick here is because instead of gluing or taping, I find that you could pretty much stick the piece of wool underneath the wool that you've wrapped already, and it'll hold itself. But in this case, I'm going to get a little help from this piece of wool, or piece of yarn, I should say, and wrap that leg. So you're going to have a two-tone colored cloth here on this cute little figure's leg. And you could stop wherever you want. So I think we're going to stop right there. And you can glue it or tape it if you want to, but I find it's a little easier. Sometimes actually, if this is a pretty thin piece of wood, so I'm going to use the scissors and try to stick the wool underneath the wool that I already wrapped. But it's not really working too well, and I don't want you to cut yourself. So you could do it with a paper clip also, something that's a little more friendlier than the scissors, just so the wool sticks and it doesn't come unraveled. But that's okay, because this is just an example and I'll probably undo this. But you can also, at the same time, I've given you all these little scraps of felt in your bag. You'll find a bunch of scraps of felt. And if you want to wrap your little guy's leg in felt, you don't really need too much. And then that could be part of their leg or pants. Or you could start up here and make pants, or you could start like this and wrap it around. Really, it's all about what you want to do, what colors you want to choose. You know, you could give them a shirt. But I find that it's easier in this type of figure because there's so many limbs that you might want to, instead of just, you know, a regular popsicle stick, it might be easier to wrap a piece of felt around like that to act as some sort of clothing. This one is probably best done with the wool. Like if you want to start on an arm, or hey, what did we cut before? We cut a piece of blue, right? So if you wanted him to have like a matching sleeve, you could start up here and wrap his little sleeve. But I'm just going to keep saying it. It's really up to you because this is your creation. And it's really whatever you want to do. It's just a lot of fun to craft anything. You can show your friends. Okay. So there you go. You've got a guy with some yarn around his arm. You've got some yarn around his legs. Do you see where I'm going with that? You can make him a little shirt. If you just want to cut out a piece of felt and glue it to his body to make a little shirt, you could do that. And the fun, what I saw when I was looking at these yarn crafts online, is I saw people putting hair on these little guys with the yarn. And you could do that, like say you want this guy to have some brown hair. Here is a nice brown piece of yarn. You can cut the yarn up into little pieces so it can represent hair. Little pieces of hair like that. And you can glue them to his head. I'm not going to glue them to his head because I want to save the figure, but you know, you could do something like that. You could give him bangs just so it looks like his little hair, or you can have it sticking up like he has a mohawk. Or like a couple of sticking up pieces of hair. Hey, that's pretty cool. So let's put this guy aside for now because I want to show you how we're going to be doing a popsicle stick, or we'll call it a craft stick. This is more of a popsicle stick. This is like a craft stick. It's also called a tongue depressor if you're at the doctor. But for our purposes, we'll call it a craft stick. And see what I did already with these guys? That's so much fun. And I'm going to take a really funky color here. This is a piece of yarn that has two different colors woven into it. And I'm going to start, let's just say this is the back. And I'm going to start pretty high. And I'm just going to wrap this yarn around. See what I did? I left a little tail sticking out so that you could easily wrap that around. And then it looks like a cool shirt with different colors, doesn't it? And you can get yarn at the craft store. And if you have some yarn left over, like this on the bottom, that's when I use my popsicle stick. Oops. And it just popped out. So just rewrap that a little bit. And you can stick that right in there and hopefully it'll stay. You know, this worked when I did it before, kids. Of course, when you're doing it in front of folks, you get a little nervous, like, oh, I'm gonna mess up. But look at that, see? Doesn't that look neat? And then if you want to, you could put some orange, like a belt even. But first we're going to wrap this guy with another cool color. How about this one? That's pretty awesome. And I'm going to, if you want to, you could probably start and stick this end of the wool right up into that pocket there. And then hold it with your finger so it doesn't come out. And then wrap it over itself a time or two to make it stay. Give it some stability. And then just wrap down the stick. Okay, that's great. I like it a lot. And if it's a little too long for it to, I mean, it's a little too short for it to come in the back, you could just kind of tuck it in the pocket in the front. Oh yeah. Oopsies. Here we go. Okay. And I'm going to come in with another color. What color would you like me to use next? Did I hear somebody say this color? No, you don't want that color? How about this color? Okay. Orange, you glad? I picked orange. So I'm going to stick that here. And instead of trying to force that up into that pocket, I'm just going to use my finger and start wrapping. And see how once you get it over the end, it stays pretty nicely. Okay. And you can go up or down as far as you want. I think I'm going to stop here. I'm going to cut it because I might want to put one more color down there. And I'm going to try to get this to go up in a little pocket. And it worked. Woo! So you've got 3 colors going now. I know that looks a little rough there, but we can wiggle that in. I like those colors so far. What do you think? So now I'm going to come with a little strip of orange felt because we used orange down here, so it's going to match a little bit. And we're going to make a little belt. Little belt, and we could put that right here. And for the orange felt, let me just give it a little measure so we don't overlap it too much. Okay, I'm going to just trim the ends off just a tiny bit, the end. And I'm going to put a little dot of glue on the felt. And put the other part, and I'm just going to hold it for a minute or so. And look at that, you made a little belt for your craft stick person. So you could pretty much do anything you want. Oh, let's pop it open. If you hold it for a couple of minutes, it'll stay. But since we don't have all the time in the world to do this, I think I'm just gonna hold it with my finger. Now, the reason why I put pipe cleaners in your bag is because I want your little folks to have arms. You see how I made little arms for that one? So what I did was I wrapped the arms around once so it would stay, and then we came back out here with arms like that. So you could probably cut this like right about here. You could, because they're pipe cleaners, they're wire, you could pretty much do anything with them. You know, you can have them up like saying hello, or give me a hug, or talk to the hand. However you want your arms to be. You can have one across These cute little purple arms. And why don't we make this cute little popsicle stick person a scarf? Here, since our belt fell off, I wonder if it would stick better on wood. I didn't try that. I'm not sure. If I put glue on the back of this and just put it right on the wood, how that would do. Let's see. Maybe it would stick better on the wood. Oh, that's going to be a little too long because we wrapped it over the wool. So here, let's do this. Make that a little tighter. Hold that down for a minute. Maybe I just didn't put enough glue on it, and that's why it was not wanting to stick to itself. But see how this one is sticking a little bit better to the wood? Maybe it does better on wood than on felt. But we'll try it anyway. They make a little scarf or a little top of their shirt. All the colors that you got in your bag, there's so many different colors. You could do whatever you want with them. You could just do like one loop of orange and then one of purple and then one of yellow. You don't have to go down all the way, you know, an inch of this. You could do like a ½ inch or just a couple of wraps around, and you could do all sorts of colors up and down, or you could do just one color. It's up to you. This is your crafty Maker's Day project. So how about if we give this little person a face? Because I think that it would be nice if they could see something. So what you can do is you could just start to draw like a little half circle, and then at the end kind of curl it around, and that makes like a little eye. You see that? And you could have a different color mouth. You see I gave this one a green mouth. This one has a little pink mouth. We can give this one a little pink mouth. Ooh. Ooh. And you can give it a little nose if you want to. And then I think I'm going to do this because I think this is funny. I think you can make this hair look like braids because it's wool and it's yarn and it's kind of woven together. So you could put some hair up on this person like this. And you can pretend it's braids. Isn't that funny? Let's see if it'll work. I'm going to put glue right on the top of the craft stick. Just putting enough so that it's going to stick. It has something to stick to. The craft stick face is looking like, oh no, what are you going to put on top of my head? And I'm saying, it's okay. It's just a little piece of yarn. And just stick that on there gently. And now your craft stick has some hair. You could put another piece of hair on there if you want to. Because see all that glue I put on there? There's some in the back too. There it is. Look at that. Look at that crazy hair. What? Yes, this little blonde is having some more fun. Ah, look at my hair. I got purple arms. I got yellow hair. Woo! Hello. Hey, how's it going? Hey, I like your green arms. Hey, I like your purple arms. Yeah, you got some cool hair. I wish I had some hair. You know, I was also thinking you could probably use, if you want to depict somebody whose hair is gray, you could probably use a cotton ball and put some cotton on top of their little popsicle stick head. Just a little bit. You know, get some glue going. And you can have a little gray-topped popsicle person. It could be like, maybe it could be like Grandma. Here, let's get that glue out of your eye, Grandma. It's probably not very comfortable. And so look, now your popsicle stick person has some gray hair. Oh, wow, I really like your hair. It looks like cotton, but oh, I like it. Oh, I really like your yarn hair. Ooh. So kids, seriously, you can do whatever you want with these crafts. You can use your colors. You could do, you know, here, let's unravel this guy. Maybe we could make some a felt outfit for him. I think maybe that would be better than the yarn. Although I made a couple of these ahead of time, I did not do this figure. I just thought, oh, it'll just work out. But no, it's always good to practice, right? Practice, practice, practice. How else will you get to Carnegie Hall? So we could do, I don't know what we're going to do. We could do something like this for a shirt. Or we could do it across like this. You know what? I'm going to let you decide what you want to do with this little figure. You can use the wool, you can use the felt, and I'm sure whatever you do will be just wonderful. And whether you get the what looks like a boy figure and what looks like a girl figure, I'm sure that you could do it. Like if you want to do the girl figure a little dress, you can cut out something that's a little bit in the shape of a triangle, you know, and you could glue that right on there and then maybe wrap some wool around it for a belt or for arms. If you want to have her wearing, you know, pants or stockings, and the same thing with the boy figure, you could do really whatever you want. There's a lot of scraps and a lot of wool in the bag for you to do that. But I'm kind of partial to these craft stick people. Hey, how's it going? You could put buttons on the front if you want to, you know, little tiny buttons. You could put sparkly stuff. You could really bedazzle these little guys up, you know, but really you could do whatever you want because you have all of these colors and you have lots of wool, and it just takes your imagination. The only limit here is your imagination. So if you can think about it and do it, then you can do it. Woo! Hey, so thank you for tuning in to Maker's Day. Please stay tuned because we're going to have another wonderful craft coming up for you. We hope you are enjoying your Maker's Day. We're so glad you tuned in, and we're really happy that you're joining us today and you picked up your Maker's Day craft bags. And have a nice rest of your Maker's Day. And for now, Miss Adaria is tuning out. Woo! Stay tuned. Yeah, woo! Bridgeton Library. Yeah, baby. Hello. Hey, we hope you had some good fun today at Maker's Day. We made all this lovely stuff that is in front of you here. Made that awesome box. Mr. Glenn made that. Look at that box. That is so cool. You can keep lots of good stuff in there, all of your treasures. We made our craft stick friends. The one with the crazy hair. Hey, what's going on? We planted some wonderful things for your garden. Thing 1 and thing 2. And we did that for the wonderful monarch butterfly. And we did marigolds too. And we made that nice car. Mr. Glenn made that great black and yellow car that you can make go zoom. So we hope you had fun on Maker's Day. We hope you continue to craft and make things. And if you have any questions about anything that we made today, or if you need any help, you know, as your plants get bigger, just give us a call or shoot us an email. We'd be happy to help you. Thanks again so much for tuning in to our Maker's Day. And thanks to Mr. Glenn for working so hard to make it happen. And we'll see you next time.
All right, people. Sounds good. Thanks, Miss Adaria.
You're welcome.
And we're happy that you came in and joined us today. And we just want to remind you that we do have a few more of the craft kits available that you can pick up. There is a limited quantity, so if you come in with the next couple of days from this broadcast, which is today, March 20th, 2021, we should have some kits for that. And you can replay the video at any point in time to rewatch anything that we did today if you need some extra help with one of your kits. And remember, we're at 150 East Commerce Street in Bridgeton, New Jersey, if you want to stop in and say hi. If you have any pictures of your crafts and you want to send them to us, you could send them to us at bpl@bridgetonlibrary.org, and we'll highlight them or put them on our website. So until next time, thanks for having a great day here with us at New Jersey Makers Day with our crafts. There you go. You can see the crafts in the background. All right, people. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. We'll see you next time.
Bye.